Once upon a time, in a kingdom known for its beauty and peace, there lived a wise and respected king. He had ruled with kindness and justice for many years. The people loved him deeply, for he was fair and compassionate. But the king was growing old, and one question troubled his heart every day. Who will rule this kingdom after me? He had no children, and he didn't want to choose a successor from the greedy ministers or the ambitious nobles. He wanted someone who was honest, brave and pure at heart, someone who could truly serve the people. One morning the king had an idea. He announced throughout the land,
"My dear people, the time has come for me to choose my successor. Every child in this kingdom, from every home and every village, is invited to the royal garden tomorrow."
The next day, hundreds of excited children gathered before the grand palace gates, laughing, talking, and dreaming. They were all curious. What would the king ask them to do? The king appeared on the palace balcony with a gentle smile. His golden crown shimmered under the morning sun. He looked upon the children and said kindly,
"My dear young ones, I will give each of you a single seed today. Take this seed home, plant it in a pot, water it daily, and return after 3 months with your grown plant. The one who brings me the most beautiful plant will become the next ruler of this kingdom."
The crowd cheered with excitement. The children could hardly believe it. One of them could become king or queen. Among the children stood a humble boy named Arjun. He was about 10 years old, quiet, polite, and full of hope. He came from a poor family, but his heart was pure and sincere. When his turn came, Arjun bowed before the king and received his seed with both hands. He ran home, filled with excitement, and told his mother everything. His mother smiled and said,
"Let us plant it with love, my son. Whatever happens, do your best."
Arjun carefully filled a pot with fresh soil, placed the seed inside, and watered it gently every day. He kept the pot near the window where sunlight touched it each morning. Days passed, then weeks. Every morning, Arjun would rush to check his pot. But nothing grew, not a single leaf, not even a tiny sprout. He felt sad, but didn't give up. He kept watering the seed, whispering softly,
Please grow, please grow."
Meanwhile, other children in the village proudly showed off their beautiful green plants, tall stems, shiny leaves, even colorful flowers. Arjun began to feel embarrassed. People laughed and said,
"Arjun, did you forget to water it? Or perhaps you broke your seed?"
But Arjun only smiled shyly. He couldn't lie. He knew he had done his best. Finally, after 3 months, the day came for all the children to return to the palace. The royal garden was filled with colors, pots overflowing with vibrant plants, flowers of every kind, the air rich with fragrance. Arjun looked down at his empty pot and almost cried. He turned to his mother and said softly,
"Mother, I can't go there like this. Everyone will laugh at me."
But his mother placed her hand on his shoulder and said gently,
"My son, you did what was right. You planted the seed the king gave you. That is what matters. Go with courage. Tell the truth."
Encouraged by her words, Arjun carried his empty pot and walked slowly to the palace. The other children laughed as he passed. Some whispered.
"Look at him! He's bringing an empty pot!"
Arjun lowered his eyes but kept walking. The king entered the garden, smiling proudly as he saw the beautiful plants around him. He walked through the rows, admiring the colors, and then his gaze fell on Arjun. The boy stood quietly at the back, holding an empty pot. The king stopped, surprised. He walked toward Arjun and asked kindly,
"My child, where is your plant? Did your seed not grow?"
Arjun bowed his head and said softly,
"Your Majesty, I planted it and watered it every day, but it never grew. I'm sorry."
The king was silent for a moment. Then he smiled. He placed his hand on Arjun's shoulder and said loudly so everyone could hear,
"Behold, this boy shall be the next king."
The entire crowd gasped. The ministers looked confused. The children stared in disbelief. The king turned to everyone and said firmly,
3 months ago, I gave each of you a seed, but what you did not know was, those seeds were boiled. They could never grow, yet all of you replaced them with new seeds and brought me plants. Only one among you, this boy, was honest enough to bring me the truth.
He looked at Arjun with pride.
A kingdom can survive without riches but not without truth. This boy's honesty has bloomed brighter than any flower here today.
Tears filled Arjun's eyes as the king placed the royal sash upon his shoulders. The crowd erupted into applause. The ministers bowed and the people cheered. Arjun's mother, standing at the edge of the crowd, wept tears of joy. Her son had become the symbol of truth. That day, the king announced,
From this moment, honesty shall be the crown of our kingdom.
and from that day forward, Arjun ruled with kindness and justice, just like the king who had believed in him. Moral of the story: honesty may not bring quick rewards, but it brings something far greater: respect and trust. Be honest, even when it's hard. This is Life Lesson Stories, where truth blooms brighter than lies. Subscribe for more stories that touch your heart and teach your soul.